hits. Here
Dude,
comes Imagine Dragons. Like, okay, fucking Christ, dude.
did you see that? Have you guys been using this Spotify DJ thing? That's like basically a radio host.
Yeah, you talking about the AI DJ?
What is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't use it, but Amanda uses it.
How do you use it? Like, do you have to prompt it?
You
Do
literally
It's
just
like
type in DJ.
request songs?
You can hit
It's-
DJ and then it'll play start playing through.
Yeah, it basically plays like songs that you've been listening to. Like it's basically like a curated playlist, but there's a guy talking like a radio show host, basically. That's like, all right, and now we're gonna go to blah blah blah. Like I don't know why Amanda.
I don't see the appeal. Like the daylist thing is cool because it'll like pop in like based on your algorithm.
Yeah.
But the whole like guy, it's clearly a computer talking to me. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I like my hip hop playlist that they give me daily. Like sometimes it's fucking great, and sometimes it's just straight ass, dude. Like there's no in between.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we had a big sports weekend this weekend. We had the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I don't know if you guys got to watch any of that. We had the Canadian Grand Prix. We had NHL playoffs. We had NBA playoffs.
That I watched.
We had a lot.
I was waiting on the cornhole playoffs.
Yeah, we had a ton, man. This weekend was stacked. But did you guys watch any Le Mans? Did you happen to go on YouTube, maybe just throw it up, just see what it's about? No,
I'm not against it, man. I just don't like. I would watch it with you, and I'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
But until I'm
That's
like
fair.
in that situation, I'm probably not just gonna turn it on. I did watch. The
That's
US
fair.
Open was this weekend. You didn't bring that up.
Oh, yep. U.S. Open, too. Yeah, it was fucking packed. But you guys have been watching the NBA playoffs, huh?
I have.
I watch the last 2 minutes of the games typically. If they're tight, then I'm in. But like, I'm not watching start to finish.
I feel that. Trey, how do you feel they've gone thus far?
I think that it's now a series finally. I think Oklahoma City's been in like must-win games the last 3 games, which is like I know it sounds kind of weird, but like they're about to go on the road with the Pacers with 2 games left.
And they won last night.
Yeah, and they won last night. And like I think they had to win that game last night. I think if the Pacers win that, they win the series. I think if the Pacers went up 3-1, they would have won the series as well.
Yeah.
Last night was game 5.
Right.
Yeah.
So now
They were 2-2.
Right.
They
They
were
were
2-2
2-2,
going in. So it wasn't a must-win, but it's like
I mean,
now we're at that
vibe-wise, it was a must-win. Because if
Them
they had
going
gone
back
down
to
3-2,
Indiana.
they're going to go back to Indiana. So they would have to win 2 more games on the road in Indiana, right? Or 1 more game.
No, so they go back to Indiana, then game
And they go
7's
back to
back in
OKC.
Oklahoma City.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it used
I
to
think
be...
it's a good series. I think Halliburton is a monster. I think Shai kind of pussy a little bit. Shai's kind of a pussy a little bit.
Yeah.
But, that's all right.
Yeah, I think what's been really interesting, though, is the defense in these games has been fucking insane. Like, that's been the story. Like, the defensive playmaking just from... I mean, the offense on Oklahoma City's part is crazy, but they're probably the best defensive team in the league. And then the Pacers they were beating Shai's ass in game 3. Like, dude could not catch a break. He was clearly fucking exhausted. Like, they were just on his ass the whole time. And I think the Pacers, people have been shitting on the Pacers and underestimating them this entire playoff run. So the fact that they're making this genuinely a series and it could go to game 7, I think is sick. I think Oklahoma City is going to win. I think this is the only basketball team in the past probably 5 years I could see them going back to back in championships. Like, they're too fucking good. They're young. They have a great roster. They're like 9 men deep, but I'm glad that the Pacers are not getting their cheeks clapped because everybody was saying at the beginning that it was going to be like a 4-1, 4-0 Oklahoma City thing. So I'm glad that is not the case, but we shall see.
Can't put it past Halliburton to pull up another game winner or 2 to win the series. I mean, dude's having a legendary postseason.
Oh my God. The most clutch postseason run fucking ever, dude.
Yeah, literally ever.
It's crazy.
If you're not doubling him with 2 seconds left, you're fucking
If you
up.
let him even think about touching the ball off an inbound, like at the end of the game, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys...
Go ahead.
There was this edit where Malika Andrews asked him, it was like some Instagram edit, but it's like, with game winners, like they call 1 luck, they call 2 a habit, they call 3 second nature, or something like that. Like, what do you call 4? And like, and then it just cuts to him fucking sinking game winners. It's so tight, dude. So good for him. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome or welcome back. It's Totally Biased Music. It's Blake, Trey, and Anthony. Today we are reviewing Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace by the Foo Fighters, which was a Trey pick, and The Gray Man, which was an Anthony pick. Um, and Trey, I don't think this was Spinner's choice, right?
No,
It was
it was
you
not.
landed on 2000s
Landed on what
rock.
he wanted.
2000s rock. Nice. So why did you pick this Foo Fighters album?
I will say if it was Spinner's choice, I would have picked this album. It's kind of surprising we haven't done this before. Just because Foo Fighters, I was thinking about this earlier. We need a term when like a band is like a collective special band for the three of us. I don't know what that word could be, but like Tipper for me and Anthony, or Foo Fighters for you and I, Blake.
Yep.
But we need some type of like special whatever. This is my favorite Foo Fighters album. I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. I don't know if I've done this before on the pod, but I'm giving this album a 10. It's absolutely perfect from front to back. I think it is gorgeous. I think it's the best rock record of that decade by and far, and probably one of the best rock records since, like what we would consider classic rock. Um, I think the first time I listened to it, I was in high school, so like probably sophomore year. I think I listened to it around the time it came out. This was like the first Foo Fighters album that I listened to, and I really liked it then. But as time has gone on, it's just become like more and more special. The balance in this album, like the place that Dave Grohl was, like he just had a kid. They had just gotten done with recording that double album. I think it's what's called One by One, and
Yep.
they went around and did like. He basically was looking for a way to kind of mesh those sounds between like the acoustic and like the hard rock, and like this thing just like existed in a perfect little time capsule. So curious to hear what y'all's experience with it was. Anthony, I don't know if you've listened to this album before. Blake, I know that you have. So yeah, Anthony, I'll turn it over to you and just kind of hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, so had not listened to this before. I probably haven't listened to any Foo Fighter albums in full. This is time. This time period was right in our high school time, so I mean, we're listening to the radio, we're burning CDs, but I never spent a lot of time with the Foo Fighters. I had there's songs that are unavoidable. Like the Pretender, Hero, times like these. They're unavoidable songs, so like they're in the zeitgeist. And I think that fact had a effect on me listening to this. Because say if I had rarely heard Dave Grohl sing, I've heard him sing those three songs, hundreds and hundreds of times. So there were times in this album where I was like, okay, this feels like that, but then there was a lot of pleasant surprises for me throughout this. It didn't really there were like teases of it, I guess, early on in the album, but the back half of this really just kind of like it's where it separated itself from a Foo Fighters album to like whatever you want to call this. Like I mean, it's definitely a Foo Fighters album, but it doesn't. The last half of this album doesn't feel like quote Foo Fighters music. Um, so that was really nice. I like I said, there are things that I knew that were gonna happen, like the heaviness, and I know Dave Grohl, he uses his vocals to provide a lot of energy, but the back half, I probably reflect on the back half of this album a lot, but it's very delicate and very like soulful. It feels like, and that was it was very very sweet to me. So excited to talk about this. I want to know more, Trey, about what it's like to grow up with this album, because I could like listening to it now and then going back and thinking, okay, what is it, like fucking 15 years give or take, that you could spend with this. I think there's a lot you could pull out of it.
I think there's
Um,
things that I love to begin with, and like I still like those things, but it's kind of that back half of the album, like where the real magic is of this, that now I appreciate so much more. And it's almost divided right down the middle. Like "Cheer Up Boys, Your
yeah.
Makeup is Running" is like kind of this like slow building anthem that just launches the rest of the album into into hyperspace. But Blake, what are we thinking here?
Yeah, sorry, I was getting the Wheel of Fate and Time ready because I hadn't had it pulled up. But
Wheel of Fate and Time.
yeah, I mean, Foo Fighters, like Trey and I have a long storied history with the Foo Fighters. This is probably like, apart from Nirvana, this is probably the rock band that I listen to the most. And I definitely
Really?
listened to them more around and with my dad than I did Nirvana, right? My dad, likes Kurt and appreciates Nirvana, but this is like Nirvana light. That's kind of what the Foo Fighters are. It's like soft grunge music, and so I think it was more. It's early albums are like a diet Nirvana to me.
I would agree with that. But this
But
album,
right, I think they're more. It's more of a digestible type of music for someone like my dad, which I think is why he was so into it. But yeah, we had all these albums. I had hard copies of them. I probably still have hard copies of them in my car. I've seen him a number of times. Like I saw him at the BJCC. We saw him twice at Hangout. I've seen him at Lollapalooza. So I've seen him a number of times. We saw him at Bonnaroo just 2 years ago, I think it was, which was still such a phenomenal performance. And they're still, it's crazy to see that they're still as good as they always have been. But yeah, this album to me, let me look at their discography real quick because I think either Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace or The Color and the Shape are my favorite album, or my favorite albums from them. Again, those are really early. Trey, I know you're a fan of Sonic Highways, right? Or is that the one you don't like?
no, I don't like dislike Sonic Highways. I think it's cool as a concept. I love Wasting Light. It's this album, and
Wasting Light,
for
yeah.
me, that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
just like Wasting Light
Yeah.
came out that was the album they were touring when they played Hangout. Was Wasting Light.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Another
nostalgia
one,
there.
one by one is also a really good album. I mean, there's a lot of good music. I really like the early Foo Fighters because I think it's a lot harder. And man, Echoes or The Color and the Shape, I probably listen to more than I listen to Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace. There's some fucking bangers on there, dude. Hey Johnny Park, Monkey Wrench. But yeah, love this album. Great. I told Trey, like when I first put it on, I was like, I forgot how much of this album I still know the words to and recognize and can sing. Like just immediately, such a time capsule that just teleported me back to when I was like 14 years old and listening to the Foo Fighters all the time. So yeah, great pick. I'm really glad we did it, and I got a lot of thoughts on it and some just so many great songs on here. So yeah,
Yeah.
good pick, Trey.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's get into top tracks. Trey, I want to hear yours first. Since it's a 10, it's going to be tough for you to pick three, but you got to pick three. That's the rule.
I picked three, and then I only have two honorable mentions, and then I picked two bottom tracks that are actually also top tracks. So
I get it.
yeah. So for number three, I put "Come Alive." I think just like as far as those first three songs, or first four songs in the album, "The Pretender," "Let It Die," "Erase, Replace," and "Long Road to Ruin." First off, two of those are pretty big hits, with "Long Road to Ruin" and "The Pretender." They're great, but "Come Alive" is the first time I feel like in this album where it shows like the signs of being a little bit different than your standard Foo Fighters album. It's kind of where, he mixes in that, like, there's some softness. The story lyrically is about, I think, about Dave Grohl like becoming a father, and him like being like present in that moment, like the "come alive, come alive," and like the building crescendo, and then the like that guitar lick is sick. There's some really good like tom toms from Taylor Hawkins, rest in peace. And yeah, that song's great, and it kicks off the difference maker, I think, for the record. So that's my number three. Number two, I put "The Pretender." Yeah, it's a hit, but it's fucking perfect. The video's iconic. It's Foo Fighters.
Video is very iconic.
Video is iconic, dude. It's not a single.
Describe the video because I don't remember.
You would
Is it
if you
something
saw
like falling
it.
off a building or something
No,
like that.
it's
What is
them
it?
in like
Okay.
a plain white like cube room, and they're just on a stage, and it's just like a bunch of different like really aggressive shots of them like playing the song.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's sick. But it's just them like at full flex at being like the best rock band in the world, at this time, and they are. I think it's relatively agreed that they're one of the last like rock bands, that you would like consider in that like kind of classic vein. They don't really do too much like outside of anything like experimental or anything like that. And then number one for me is "Home." I
Really?
Yes, I absolutely love this song. I mean, it's like kind of a soft little sad boy song. Like, you think I'm not gonna love that?
True. It's
My
very
alley.
true.
And also like it's beautiful. It brings this album like right back down to like where your pulse is back at 80 BPM. I recently got an Apple Watch, so I'm really checking my pulse a lot now.
Cool.
Yep, brings your heart rate right back down to 80 BPM. Apple Watch sponsor us. Uh,
There you
And
go.
you kind of had teases of these ballads throughout the record, and like some of them are really, really good, but this one really like hits the balance and the themes of the album really well. And obviously, like there's the album titles within there, you know, Echoes and Silence, Patience and Grace, and I think it wraps up like the balance of this record is where the magic is, and like patience is something you have, right, and grace is something you give, or like echoes and silence are obviously like opposite like experiences. So I think like that, the echoes and silence, patience and grace, all of these moments I'll never replace, no fear of my heart, absent of faith, and all I want to do is be home, is like the last little lyric there, and it's beautiful. I love that song.
Very nice.
um then honorable mention, Summer's End. That song is just southern as fuck. It would make Greg Allin proud. Like even the like the melody of the guitar riff is super southern, and you know you forget that Dave Grohl's from Virginia. So he's
Yeah.
like, there's a lyric in there like, "Sweet Virginia countryside, I'll meet you there. Bloody lips and cherry wine, moonshine in your hair. Just keep staring at the sun, pray for summer's end." Like that could be a country lyric. Um,
True.
so I think that one's really cool. And then the instrumental Ballad of the Beaconsfield Miners. That song is really cool. And then I don't know if y'all know the general story behind the Beaconsfield Miners, but there was a mine, a gold mine in uh, Tanzania. I don't know. In another country.
Tanzania?
Tanzania.
Tanzania. Thank you. There was a gold mine in that country that you just said, and what there was two guys that were trapped in there. There's actually three, but one of them died, and there was two guys that were trapped down there. And they asked the guys like, "What do you need to like kind of keep you sane?" And the guy was like, "Give me an iPod full of Foo Fighters songs."
What?
And so they dropped him down an iPod full of Foo Fighters songs, and Dave Grohl heard about it, and like kept them sane while he was, you know, in the throes of,
Yeah.
yeah, in the throes of,
Isolation.
yeah, in isolation for like, I think it was 2 weeks. Um,
Wow. I'm
and
gonna look this
then
up.
the guy actually got to go to a show later on. So super unique song for the Foo Fighters play. It's an instrumental. It's just guitar. I don't think Dave Grohl is the one playing guitar on this. I'm sure it's someone else. Either,
Yeah, it's a lady named Cocky King,
yeah.
Kaki King.
So yeah, I think that song's super unique. A little interlude almost for the record. So yeah, those are my
Um,
top tracks and honorable mentions.
Before we get into Anthony's, I want to show something real quick, and I got to leave it muted because I don't want us to get fucking copyright struck. But in terms of the video, so you guys can see this, right?
Is the Pretender?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this moment right here where they spray this
Whoa.
water, they actually did this. There's no special effects, and they blasted I can't remember how many gallons of water, and it only lasts for about 3 seconds, I think, but they cut it and slow it down in certain points to where it seems like, because this is the rest of the video, so it's like a minute of it, but the water was only
Forgot about
blown
this.
for like 3 seconds. But yeah, you guys should, anybody listening, and Anthony, you should definitely go watch it because that happens right at like the drop. And it's very, very sick. So I just had to bring that up so you can see it.
Also, I say one of these things is not like the other all the time, even though that's not the actual lyric.
But do you say it in rhythm?
One
of these
Yeah, I do.
things?
No, I'm like, one of these things is
can't
not
help it.
like the other. Yeah, I do.
I think
Okay.
there's a lot. There's a lot to that, with their music where it can. I think it can very easily ingrain itself in you, and I think that's due to a lot of the repeat vocals that are kind of droning, whether they're really fast back and forth or kind of call and response types of things. But it does have that effect of like it just kind of sinks into your psyche. I was gonna ask you, okay, Blake, you're in a mine. What's on your iPod? What are you requesting to be
Oh,
put on the iPod? You get one artist because they
Only
chose the Foo
one?
Fighters. Yeah,
Oh, Eminem, obviously.
I play Chief Keef on my
100%.
phone till it dies.
Yeah.
that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep.
Chief Keef, I mean, Chief Keef has about 37 albums, so that
Yeah.
would work. Yeah, definitely Eminem. What about you?
I mean, I was just thinking. I'm looking at Trey and thinking, okay, who might go with Pretty Lights? And Pretty Lights is not a bad pick because, I mean, you just emotional music. But I would probably go with Incubus, really, just because I can still get lost in the music, and I could also let out a lot of energy, I guess, while I'm in that cave. But I don't know. Otherwise, you may go with some sleep music. I mean, just hope that you can
Lo-fi
drown.
hip hop beats
Yeah.
to study slash relax to.
Yep, yep. Or
Exactly.
get chill in the mind too.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think that I wait. Okay, so if I is it just studio stuff or can I listen to Pretty Lights live shows?
I Let's just limit it
If
to
it's just
just
studio, then
studio.
I'm going
Just
Pine Grove. Pine Grove.
Pine
Oh
Grove.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
god.
I'm not even
Trey's
maybe either Pine Grove or Radiohead, but probably Pine
Trey's
Grove.
trying to convince
Radiohead
him
would be good.
Trey's trying to convince himself to kill himself before he gets out of the mine.
Yep, that's it. I'm like, oh, maybe life ain't
Just
that great.
imagine if you're that second miner, Blake, and you're like, "You asked for what? Pine Grove?" Oh,
Blake would actually kill me like on the spot. He's like, I'm not fucking doing this.
uh, that's a great. I'm
That's a
glad
good
you brought that up
question.
though,
That's a
because
good
like I
question.
very much I honor the folks who request. Just give me an iPod. That's all I need.
Yeah.
No food, no water. Just send
Just an
music down.
iPod, man.
It'll be okay.
Mhm.
All right. So my top tracks. How do I do this? So number three, I had "Come Alive," and similar reasons as to what Trey said. Like this song really felt like the most, or maybe the first kind of like journey track within this album. I mean, it starts off really slow and very acoustic, very beautiful. Um, I don't. I wish that I wish that when I thought of Dave Grohl, I thought of the way he plays acoustic guitar because it's unique in a sense. Like it feels like it's coming from a different person. But I just in my head I hear his voice versus hearing him play guitar. But that's a beautiful track, and I love just the way it builds and literally does come alive. Um, for the next top two, I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm gonna say my second top tracks are really from Ballad of Beaconsfield Miners to But Honestly. I mean, like, I caught myself in the last part of this album going, how do I even begin to talk about this? Because it feels very collective. And my number one track is Home, so just spoiler. So basically, the last four tracks of this album to me are just something to get lost in. I love the ballad like that. To put that type of track in this album is really ballsy, especially considering their previous albums were, I would think, way more on the heavy side, right? Way more on the angsty side. But this one is on the very much just kind of opening up doorways side. So love ballad, love statues. But honestly, has that real slow build in the track, and I love how they kind of tame the energy in that track because it's so slow and very kind of classical and really building. But the last minute of But Honestly, they go off like they do. So I appreciate that. And then to top it off, Home, just a beautiful send off of a track. And I spent so much time driving this fucking weekend, going to Tennessee, coming back to Tennessee, going elsewhere, that I really resonated when I listened to this track today, where I was just like, I just want to be home. Just
Yeah.
let me go home. Right. So shout out to that song. But yeah, good, beautiful way to end the album, of course, too.
Very nice. My top track is one that has not been listed yet. So little tease for what's to come.
Mm.
Number three for me though is also "Come Alive." So that's on
Look at
all
that.
of ours. "Come Alive" is a straight fucking banger and gets me hype every single time I listen to it. And this is, when Dave starts to scream, Kurt's got an iconic scream, but Dave also, man, he's got a
Great
really
scream.
iconic scream. It's so good. And like, he really just starts to throw it at the end. The guitar riffs at the end, the drumming at the end, like the whole last minute 30 of that song is just banger. Just gets you hype, man. I love it. So "Come Alive," definitely up there. And then number two for me, for similar reasons, is "Let It Die." And I love the progression of "Let It Die." It starts acoustically slow. And it's so funny if you were to like listen to the first 10 seconds and then jump to like the last minute of the song, you would think it's a completely different song because it's heavy, it's screaming, it's upbeat, but I really love "Let It Die." This is probably like when I think of the Foo Fighters, you know, I can't. It's hard to pick a song that like I automatically think of, but "Let It Die" is up there. "Hey Johnny Park" is up there off of "The Color and Shape," and then I don't know, probably as cliche as it is, "Best of You." But man,
Song's
this song,
awesome. Best of
yeah,
is awesome.
it is. But this song just really like for some reason just sticks in my mind as like peak Foo Fighters. And And then number one for me is Stranger Things Have Happened. I fucking love this song. It is so beautiful and sad and slow. And I just love the chorus. You are not alone, dear loneliness. You forgot, but I remember this. Oh, stranger, stranger things have happened. And then the end of verse two is I can change, I can change, I can change, but who do you want me to be? I'm the same, I'm the same, I'm the same. Do you want me to be? And I think that's just fucking awesome. And I don't know what Dave was going through when he wrote this. Clearly some tough shit. But just love his voice in this song. Love the lyrics, love the simplicity of it. But easily the best song on the album and one of my favorite Foo Fighters songs ever, which is so funny because it's like the complete opposite of what I would normally like.
Yeah, I'm shocked by this.
Trey, are you shocked? Yeah.
Shocked.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
Pleasantly shocked, but shocked.
Yeah. So good. So that's what I had.
mean, you picked like the track that is all acoustic, and I wrote next to Stranger Things Have Happened. I wrote like this is the breather track of the album, and I'm shocked that you picked that as number one, but I applaud you. Very much so. But
all right, thank you for
Pine Grove iPod as much as you think you'd hate that Pine Grove iPod.
You're stuck with it.
Depends on how delirious I get in that cave. All right, let's go into bottom tracks. Trey, what do you got?
Right, so
your bottom tracks that are top tracks.
I use my bottom track section so I can talk more about my top tracks.
Okay.
So I really do like it. I'm super down with our rule, but for me, this album is perfect front to back. There's nothing negative about it. So I put Cheer Up Boys, Your Makeup is Running. Kind of because what Anthony was talking about earlier, like it's kind of where this album like shifts, I think, into this like ethereal like magic, whatever we were talking about. And also like it's just kind of like a Southern California rock bop, like the stop, 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 stop. I like kind of have this little dance that I do when I do it, like almost like with my hands, like I'm voguing, but like without going around my face. So I love that song. And then Long Road to Ruin, also another iconic music video. That's the one where they're like running through the airport, right?
Yes, I believe so.
They're like running through the airport. Anthony, if you haven't seen that, you should watch it. It's really good. Also, the drums in Long Road to Ruin are sick. Once again, R.I.P. Taylor Hawkins. And then when like the drums all cut out and you just hear Dave Grohl like shredding his vocal cords, being like, I'm not gonna scream it, but like running through hell, heaven can wait. And his voice is like doubled, and then there's like a quick like Pat Smear guitar shred, like a really good like like guitar solo, fucking sick.
That was spot on, very good.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it really was. I can like play it back in my head. So yeah, those are like my two other top tracks that I just wanted to highlight.
Okay, so no bottom tracks, got it.
No
Anthony,
tracks.
what do you got?
Okay, so I've got three. They're really in no order, but my third one, I put Summer's End, really because it felt like this feel-good track in the midst of all these emotions. And I think that's a good thing, but it took me out of the album for a second because it felt misplaced. It's a great song, but it just felt misplaced.
It feels like they wrote a song that was like, this is what high schoolers are going to play on the last day of school when they drive away from their high school.
So that's the thing.
Like
Foo Fighters
experience.
they've been featured in so many. They're a lot of their music is like that. Is so situational and cinematic too. Like I feel like the end of a movie is a great. I mean, they have many tracks that have been featured in films. But so these two tracks I'm about to list, they annoyed me for certain reasons, and it's vocally, and it's because Cheer Up Boys. That stop. I couldn't get out of that, so that's on my bottom tracks. And then so is Erase Replace. Like I get that like Erase Replace feels like a stereotypical Foo Fighters song before this album came out. Like it feels like that place and time for me. And that place and time never resonated with me back then. So I found that call and response part of Erase Replace. I like the lyric structure, like conceptually. I just don't like it. The execution doesn't resonate with me. Yeah. So Erase Replace on there.
I also had Erase Replace. And I find the song way too repetitive and way too boring. That's like, it just kind of drags on for me and I do not like it. I like the instrumentation of it, but it gets real fucking repetitive to me. And then Long Road to Ruin. Like this song, man, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it just sounds like I swear to God, this might have been my graduating song, my high school graduation song, and like I'm pretty sure it was Carly's too. It was a Foo Fighters song.
Mine. Yeah, I think there was a Foo Fighters song, but I could not tell you what it was.
I'm pretty sure it was long. I'm pretty sure it was Long Road to Ruin,
No,
or
it was probably Everlong.
Probably or Times Like These.
Oh, it was Times Like These. That's what it was.
Okay.
That's
that
what
makes
it
more
was.
sense.
But this is like the same vibe, and I just don't like it. So it's too like campy for me. Trey, am I using that right? It's just campy.
Well, I mean, you used it right based on the opinion that you have of the song. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And that's all I had. I only had two, to be honest. Sorry. I guess if I were to throw another one on there, like I hate to do it, but I would probably put The Pretender just because it's played a lot, like a lot. It's almost at 1 billion.
Though.
It's almost at 1 billion plays on Spotify, which is crazy.
Their most played song? No way. It's got to be. Yeah, Everlong is 1.5 billion.
Oh damn, that's crazy.
How does Everlong go? Because I saw that, like I was digging and I saw that had been featured, but I never brought myself to play it because I wanted to hear you sing it, Trey.
Can you sing it, Trey?
No, I'm not singing it, but
this is bullshit. Oh, maybe it was Learn to Fly. I think it might have been Learn to Fly, Anthony.
See how many different songs it could have been, though? Isn't that just a testament to the genius of the Foo Fighters?
Kinda.
Well, here's the thing.
Your high school experience.
Trey, I want to ask you this. Well, I'll ask you, Blake, too, because you seem to be all about it. Are y'all, like, back when the Foo Fighters was playing on the radio so frequently, is that one that y'all were like, oh, Blake, turn it up, like, let's let it ride?
Which one, Everlong?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I had this response to just change.
I don't remember being on my contrarian shit about Foo Fighters, like, so probably...
Shocking.
I know it is a little shocking. I've worked hard on that. But yeah, so I was probably like, turn the song up. The song's great.
Yeah.
I
mean, if you surround yourself with the right people that also feel that way, I could see it doing exactly what it's done to y'all.
I also really liked Dave Grohl, like, as a person. I just thought it was cool that he came from Nirvana. I wasn't, like, as big of a Nirvana person back then as I would. I mean, I'm not, like, a huge Nirvana guy, but I like Nirvana now.
Yeah.
But I just thought the Foo Fighters were genius.
I will say, in terms of you being a contrarian, your opinions on the Carter 6 beg to differ, but that's a conversation for a different time.
I think that it's good, and I don't think it's nearly as bad as everyone says it is, and I think that there's a decent amount of it that's pretty bad, and there's no reason to ever put 19 songs on a rap album. But I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. So... All right. That's a different conversation for a different day.
Yeah, it's a different conversation. All right. Well, ratings. Trey, we already have yours. Anthony, what do you got?
So Trey gave it a 10. Well, before I give my rating, Trey, you mentioned that I forget how you said it, but have you ever heard the movie called Studio 666?
Yes, I saw it in theaters.
You did see it?
Yeah, okay. Me and I forget who I went and saw it with, but yeah, I did. I thought it was
so
hilarious.
It's like the Foo Fighters in a horror movie.
Yeah, it's
playing
great.
Themselves, right? So
they're all assholes. Right, it's hilarious.
Yep. So just remember that, Trey. If I ever give you a horror movie and the Wheel of Fate and Time decides so, you're more than welcome to grab this baby off the shelf.
I probably would.
Okay. Good. So in honor of that, I'll give it a 7.5 from me. That's no previous emotional attachment to this album prior to listening to this. So face value alone, 7.5. Had I lived with this album, it clearly would probably be higher. But we'll stick at that.
I'm going to give it a 9, and I will say the color and the shape is a 10. I'll spoil that. I think that's their best album. I think this is probably their second or third best album, but very good. Only 2 songs. And the 2 songs I dislike aren't even really that bad of songs. I just personally don't like them that much. So got to give it a 9. Good pick, Trey. Thanks for sending me down memory lane.
You're welcome, brother. I exist for nostalgia.
Yeah. Nice.
You live for nostalgia.
I live for nostalgia. What did Rolling Stone or how that fare? Yeah, we just kind of skipped past that segment. I can look it up. Hold on one second.
Take a gander, Trey. You know it's on there. So
out of 5, I'm gonna say they gave it a 4. I feel like this was before, like maybe Foo Fighters.
Oh my god!
They either do two things based on Blake's response. There, they either loved the direction they went, or it sounds like they did not like the direction they went. So I'll say 2. They
They gave it a 2.5, bro.
It's fucking hacks,
Couldn't
dude.
decide. They had to ride the middle.
That's crazy. Why
They're
did they
hacks.
do? It's blocked off, so I can't read
Yeah,
it. Oh wait,
just,
no.
what about
There we go.
Pitchfork? Oh, I'm looking at Pitchfork right now. See,
Pitchfork?
This is where AI Jamie would come in handy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I have it. Do you guys want to guess, or do
Pitchfork?
you already have it, Trey?
Yeah, I'll guess 7 out of 10 because Pitchfork's changing in my mind a little bit.
I already.
I'll say they
have
did a little
it,
better.
And it's not good. So.
All right, well, surprises because
It's
I'm
a
the only one that doesn't.
4.2.
Oh wow, out of
They
10.
used the term posse grunge sound, which is PASS, and then an E with not an
Yes.
asterisk. What's it called when they're
It's an asterisk, or not an asterisk,
No,
a
it's
hyphen.
apostrophe?
No, it's not a hyphen.
Not a hyphen.
It's an apostrophe.
Yeah.
No, it's an accent. It's an accent.
Accent.
It's an,
Yeah, it's
over
an
the
accent
E.
when it's
Yeah.
over the yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
once again, the douchebags over at Pitchfork have outdone themselves. Y'all can fuck off.
But what doesn't make any sense is the opening line is 10 years on, Dave Grohl and co. reunite with color and shape producer Gil Norton for an album that aims to recapture the band's early successful anthemic sound. So, like, do you guys like it or not? Like, it doesn't make any fucking
I
sense.
don't even know. Hey, you know what I didn't realize till I watched the Led Zeppelin documentary the other day was that Rolling Stone absolutely tanked the first Led Zeppelin album. They were like, this album sucks.
Led Zeppelin 1?
Yes.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Which if
That's
you haven't
literally
seen that
one of the
documentary, y'all have
It's
got to
great.
watch. Y'all have got
What
to
is it
watch
on?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
on Netflix.
It's on
now.
Netflix now.
Is it a show or is it a movie?
It's a movie. It's called
No, it's
Becoming
a
Led
movie.
Zeppelin. It's really, really
Oh,
good.
dude, I gotta watch that.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I saw it in theaters, but it's awesome. Yeah, they interview all the different members and they kind of build. They go through the first 4 albums. It's good.
Yeah. It's really good.
There's an iconic Halsey tweet. I don't know if you guys know who Halsey is, but she tweeted one time and was like, "Will whatever basement they run Pitchfork out of please burn down?" or something like that. It's so good. Okay, so that was Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace by the Foo Fighters. Go listen if you haven't. Let's get into Rides or Dies. And Trey, I got beef with your pick, so you could lead us off.
Okay. I would be happy to. I don't know why you have beef with it.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Okay, so did I send Sea of Doubt or Eternal Return?
Yeah.
Like, Sea of Doubt.
Sea of Doubt.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was going back and forth. I couldn't remember. All right, so my pick is off the newest King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard record called Phantom Island. For those of you who might not have listened to Phantom Island yet, it is a similar sound that they had with their previous album, Flight B741, that we did on the album on this podcast. But with this album, they actually brought in an orchestra to kind of give some like backing, like strings and horns and some jazz shit and some really, really dope ethereal shit. The song that I picked was Sea of Doubt because it's fucking awesome, first off. But also thought that you guys might enjoy this one. It might pique your interest enough for us to do a little bit of an aside. And also, like, the beginning track of the beginning part of the album song is like very talking about kind of anxiety and like, you know, self-doubt, things of that nature. And then at the end, it's like, here comes the sun to clear the fog. Here comes a friend for me to lean on through the swell and through the cloud. We're going to swim out of the sea of doubt. And so this was something that like really captured my attention when I was listening to the album the first run through. And I think it's really cool and it's really beautiful. And let me know if you think it rides or dies. Blake, go ahead. Since you're in the pocket here.
What's your beef, bro?
Yeah.
I think it rides. I think it's a great song, but I think you're getting a little too cozy with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. You've brought them a lot for Rides or Dies. You kind of bring them. You're kind of doing what you do with Derek. You're bringing them up like every pod, and you know you got to leave some mystery with King Giz. You know that's my beef. This is like your third King Giz Rides or Die stray.
I understand that, but you know me, and when I get passionate about something, I get passionate about it, and I genuinely believe this is the best band making music right now.
I think they're great, and
yeah.
I
just got hyped about the new album, and yeah, I would like to review the album, whether y'all join or not. How about that? I'll do it
Just you by yourself. That would be sick. You see Trey aside, just him talking to himself. That would be awesome. But yeah, I still give it a rides, but like I think maybe you wait 3-4 weeks before bringing another King Giz track, you know, because then I'll have to give it a dies, and I won't want to do that because it'll probably be good.
That's fair. Anthony?
So, excuse me. I wanted so bad to come to this episode with an experience of seeing King Giz live. Like that was I wanted so bad to do that. So the closest I could get was I listened to Trey. Trey sent me the album when I was heading up to Bonner. He's like, "It's there if you want to listen to it." So I started driving up there, and it's like a 3 hour drive, and I listened to the first few tracks, and then I hit the crazy ass downpour monsoon weather going through the foothills of Tennessee. So I did not want to listen to this in that context because I needed to focus on the fucking road. It was dangerous as hell.
I didn't even
Um,
think about that part.
but it was yeah, it was pretty bad. I have not listened to the entire album, and I had not listened to this song either. And this song is distinctly different than the songs at the front of the album that I only listened to. So that gave me a lot of it does pique my curiosity. So it definitely rides. It has that vintage kind of CCR kind of sound to the guitar, and the lyrics in this song are really interesting. It talks about being inside the forest of his mind and stuff like that. So, yeah, they got something to say. I just haven't heard them in a way that I really want to hear them, which is in front of my eyeballs. But one day we'll get there.
Would you have
I'm
any
sure.
interest in
I
flying out to San Diego, California on August 11th to see them with an orchestra show?
No, 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 no. But I mean, they stream all the
Could be
time.
fun.
But like,
It's your
I've really
friend's birthday.
refrained from watching those streams. So
Yeah.
I heard, by the way, that the Infinity stage was a flop. So if anybody at Bonnaroo can confirm this or deny it, that would be great to know.
I saw a video that
Um,
looked pretty cool.
I just heard like the sound design really did not work the way that they wanted it to, and like I don't know,
Gotcha.
that was like people's main
well,
gripe.
they also abandoned the silent disco to do that. So
Oh,
like,
dude.
if you have choices, if you have options, aren't we all going to float with silent disco versus Infinity Stage if it's not up to par quality wise?
Probably, yeah.
Not me. I'm
I mean,
not
they
a
only
big
had one
silent
night of
disco
it, so.
guy. It kind of weirds me out.
Well, me personally,
Okay.
Bonnaroo was the first place I ever witnessed a silent disco in person, and I was like,
Same.
"This concept is wild," with multiple DJs on stage, not
Mhm.
knowing who's. It's a cool ass concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But,
RIP to all those at Bonnaroo. I'm sorry that you guys got planked, and I feel really bad, and that honestly really made me sad.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
hey, at least they got something out of it. I'm sure the campgrounds on Friday night were insane. So I
Yeah.
hope everybody partied as hard as they possibly could, and they got
Yeah.
home safely. Okay, so Anthony, your rides or dies.
All right, my rides or dies. Longer track, Blake. So save that for later. It's a 7 minute track. It's L1011 is one of my favorite bands right now. It's just two guys and guitars playing, and or one guy guitar, one guy drums too. And this song really felt like a nice departure from the Foo Fighters album. There's no vocals in this track, but it does musically what I love. Where it builds and then it kind of plateaus. It builds again to a kind of climax towards the end. Really beautiful song. Wanted to get y'all's opinion because Blake and I did L1011, their self-titled album a while back. And Trey, I don't know if I've ever shown you this band, so why don't you start?
You did not show me this band, but I found this band and then I sent it to you and I was like, "Have you ever heard of these guys?" And you were like, "Yeah, me and Blake reviewed an album." And I was like, "Oh, cool."
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, this was a long time ago though. I've never listened to this album though, and I've listened to pretty much the rest of it after this song. The song's great. It goes in a much different direction than how it starts. Like it starts with this kind of like almost like an 808 like little boom bap
Yeah.
thing, and then the guitar just kind of takes it away. Super vibey. Really want to see this band live if it ever presents the opportunity ever
Yes.
presents itself.
Yes.
So yeah, rides for me. Blake.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember where I landed on the L1011 album. Anthony, do you have I'm sure you could find the ratings.
It's in my book over there.
Yeah.
So.
I liked the
Too
song.
far.
I thought it was chill. Thought it was a vibe. It was a nice come down from the Foo Fighters album. So good pick with this episode. Yeah, I think if I were to guess or remember correctly, I believe that a whole album of L1011 is too much for me. But I can't remember what my thoughts were on it. But I did like this song.
Yeah, I think too we also agreed on the context of when to listen to that type of music. Obviously come down post show, vibing with your friends, just melting music. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
hell yeah. All right,
Um,
Jay-Z.
okay, so I brought, and there's a specific reason I brought this song. So I brought Jay Z Blue from Magna Carta Holy Grail, and I texted Trey the other day. I rinsed Magna Carta Holy Grail recently, front to back. I think this album has aged incredibly well. I think Trey and I don't know if we were to rate it back when it first came out. Trey and I were probably giving it a 6 or a 7 back when it first came out. But I think it's aged really well. I think Jay-Z is rapping his ass off in a lot of this. The production's really great. The reason I picked this song is because of that Biggie flip that he has in there. So there's a moment where he says, "I dream filthy," and then Biggie comes in and says, "My mom and pops mixed me," and then they both say, "With Jamaican rum and whiskey." Oh, what a set off. And I just love the way that that's chopped up and put in that song. So yeah, I really, really love this. Really love this song. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I'll agree. The how do we say, the posthumous duet between Biggie and Jay-Z is fire. Even just the simple Biggie sample, everybody's just like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's fire, and I mean, this song is about his daughter,
Yeah.
like, and there's an because like when I wanted to find out where that Biggie sample came from, so
I'm
it's
curious
my
about that too,
downfall.
actually.
Yeah, the song's called "My Downfall" with Biggie, but there's another sample towards the end of this song where I think the lady says like "no more hangers" or something like that, and that is from a movie called "Mommy Dearest." And throughout this song, Jay Z's saying like "Daddy Dearest" too,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of meta shit in this song. So yeah, really like it. Rides for me for sure.
Nice. Trey?
Definitely rides. Also, when he was saying "Daddy Dearest," I thought he was saying "Daddy Derek." So surprised that wasn't the actual lyric. Um, but no, this song rides. I was curious about the Biggie sample, but did not do the homework because I didn't know if like maybe it was like some lyrics that Jay Z had like in the vault or something like that. But uh, one cool. First off, this album actually absolutely has aged really, really well. There's also a line in Picasso Baby where Jay Z says, "Go ahead, lean on that shit, Blue. You own it." Talking about like a Picasso painting, which just
Yeah.
like tough as fuck.
Such a sick line.
Yeah. So yeah, this album has aged really well. There's some really good songs on here. Wouldn't hate to do the whole thing one day. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say there's a song in there called I think it's just BBC. There may be a word after BBC. I don't have it up,
Just
but it's a
BBC.
song. Yeah, it's a song with Nas. And it's like Nas, Pharrell, Jay Z, Beyonce, all in the song, and I think it's one of Jay Z's best verses like ever. But it's definitely the best verse on the album. But he did the Zane Lowe interview, and he said when they made that song that like they were all just in the studio one night and they're like, "What the fuck are we doing? Like, we're some of the best artists in the world. Like, we need to get in the studio right now and make something." And then they just threw it together. So I think that's a sick story. But yeah, we should definitely run it at some point.
Yeah.
Cool. That's rides across the board. Very nice.
Boys, that's 2 weeks of rides across the
okay,
board.
so
I'm gonna bring a
Well,
shitter next week.
I looked at our rides or our rods this week, and we all kind of stuck to what we do. Like Anthony went for like his post rock space shit. You picked up a hip hop track. I did King Gizzard, which is what I do all the time now, apparently. So like we really stuck to our lanes, and I think we're like melting into each other's brains a little bit.
Yeah. We're going back to our roots.
Yeah, but like bringing each other into the conversation, brother.
Trying.
Yeah. It's all that's what it's all about, baby. That's why I single-handedly started Totally Biased Music for this right here.
Yep.
All right, well, let's get into The Gray Man, which was an Anthony pick. I will say, Anthony, I'm impressed that you found a movie that I almost dislike as much as Beau is Afraid. I think that's a special talent. But
Hold on. Let's not start this negatively. But like,
I want to. I
if
have
you're
a
gonna
question.
shit on this,
I have a
okay.
question. Have you seen this movie before you picked this movie?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
I've seen
thought
it.
you were just like Ryan Gosling. This movie.
No, I mean, dude, I had what was it, Best Picture winner as an option, and chose not to go there. So like, there's of course many things I could do.
Did you
but,
get Spinner's Choice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't remember.
Yeah. So I could have done Ryan Gosling, could have done Michael Bay. There was another actress, I think. Anyway,
Jessica
but yeah,
Chastain.
so I had seen this movie before. I know the story behind the movie, and this movie has like all the shit that I love, just kind of laced throughout it. It's got the little girl in the movie. She's playing records, right? There's a fucking There's Greek mythology laced throughout this movie with Sisyphus, and then towards the end too. Chris Evans, right? So here's the thing: I have no emotional attachment to Chris Evans, like I think a lot of people do, as Captain America. And to see him in this movie get exactly what he needed, it was just it's funny as shit to me because these are the roles I love Chris Evans playing, which is this asshole fucking villain character who typically doesn't get what's coming for him, but he gets everything and more in this movie. Um, there's a fucking garden labyrinth maze in this movie. Ryan Gosling does a great job not having to play a lot. You know, there's a lot of action in this movie. Um, but yeah, you know, I mentioned when we did James Bond too that James Bond never resonated with me, but this type of character does, which is the guy who was fucking fucked up, got roped into an organization, realized the organization is fucked up. Now let's fuck up the folks within the organization. So wild movie. Please do not compare this to Beau is Afraid because Beau is Afraid is way up there. Just so you know. But Trey, before Blake has a shit show, what did you think of this movie? Had you seen it before? Do you
Um,
know about the Great Man?
no, I hadn't seen it before. Yes, I have a spiritual attachment to Chris Evans as Captain America. Um, I think him in a villain role was like very off-putting for me, not because like I'm used to him
Yes.
being a good guy and a bad guy. I just think his like the lines that he delivered were just like
So
so
bad, dude.
You want to
cheesy.
punch that guy. That's
So
the
Yeah, I
it's
thing.
not
did. I
even
also wanted
bad.
to punch
That's
the
it.
person who like wrote the lines. Like,
Yeah,
I love
there's
Chris.
he was like,
Oh
and
man,
now I'm gonna go kill the bad guy or the like
he's a
it
piece of
was.
shit throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, he
That's
was a
kind of the
piece of
point.
shit, but it was just like non. And also, like, in what world would they? And listen, I'm not trying to like make it realistic because like movies aren't realistic, but like, in what world are they just letting this like guy lead this like secret ops team blowing up like several cities in the or across the world? There's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, just like blow up
do
Belgium. Like
whatever the fuck you
whoever
want.
like at what point like they never pull the plug on this? Like it happens over and over and over again. And also, like, who is the old man?
The old man is Billy Bob Thornton. Um, they never say directly in the movie. They keep referring to the old man, but I looked that up too after the fact
Yeah,
because I'm
that
like, they
wasn't
keep
clear. There was
referencing
supposed to
that.
be like an
No,
old guy that they wanted to make happy that
I thought
was
there
pulling
was.
the strings.
Well, I think you have to also look at
So
who's
Billy
referring
Bob
to him.
Thornton was the good guy and the bad guy.
So he was not ever the bad guy. He was the head of the CIA previously, and then he's retired. And then they try to kill these guys that are in this
Yeah,
under this
yeah,
covert thing, right?
yeah, but when
So they send.
but then the black guy who is at the beginning of the movie, and when he brings before he brings in Chris Evans, he's talking. He's like, we don't want to make the old man mad, but they weren't talking about Billy Bob Thornton. They were talking about like another figure because they were like directly contradicting the Billy Bob Thornton thing. So I was just confused on who that was.
Yeah, I give you that because, like I said, I was confused too as far as this reference to the old man. But in reality, I think it's all the whole movie is a shit show gone wrong, and it continues to go wrong. And the only person who tries to hold on to some level of sanity is the lady in the office watching it all unravel. And I love there's comedic elements where they cut back to her just coming apart literally at the seams because there's a reason why there's no sequel to this movie because the whole sequel would be fucking court proceedings and everything just literally worldwide chaos, right?
Yeah.
But I think it makes for a wild action movie and it had elements that I wasn't like privy to, like the trapdoor scene,
Hmm.
where the guy's trying to get his photo taken. He's like, come closer. Like that caught me off guard both times I watched the movie. So it had some good twists and turns, but
The action
yeah,
in it
this
was
is not
pretty
a
sick. The plot left a lot to be desired, I would say.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Chris Evans was off-putting.
It was
Just
like
how I like it.
the thing
Just
is
how I
his
want
whole
it.
character is written like it's like they wanted his entire dialogue to consist of like shitty one-liners, like
Yeah.
quips and one-liners, and like it's so cringe, dude. Like it's so like it's the Russo brothers trying to create something that's not a Marvel movie, but like
I forget.
using the same Marvel shit of like, haha, look at this funny one-liner, but they're all like the delivery falls short. It's not funny. It derails the fucking movie. And also to Trey's point, that scene in the middle of the city square he calls in like 3 teams of people. They fucking blow shit up, murder, who knows, shoot countless individuals. Oh, yeah. The whole thing's a shit show, but then like he gets away with it because one guy is still following Ryan Gosling. Like that was his plan all along.
Who ends up turning on him like he wasn't even loyal. He was like a hired mercenary or something.
It doesn't make any
sense going on.
Yeah, and like the only reason I finished the movie is because Ana de Armas is in it, and I'm obsessed with her. That was the only thing that kept me hanging on. Otherwise, I would have turned that shit off. Like,
that was another reason why I wanted to bring this movie in, because I went and saw Ballerina. And did you see it, Blake?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was fucking awesome.
You thought so? Well, I think her character was like the choreography for her character was very like underutilized in comparison to a movie like this. But it's whatever. I mean, it's its own lore. It's its own world.
Well, they had to do... I don't know if you know this about Ballerina, but they had to do reshoots. Did you know that?
Yeah. I don't know exactly why.
Essentially, they showed the movie to a team of... it may have been an audience and then like Universal, whoever movie it is, executives, and they were basically like, this is not the direction we want to go with this. You need to do reshoots. So then they had to go back and reshoot a bunch of scenes.
So is it good or bad?
I thought Ballerina, it turned out great. Like I thought it was phenomenal. And I think the choreography is like, it's sick. It's compelling enough. Like Keanu Reeves is only in it for like a few minutes, which helps because I think he's a horrible actor.
You're so dumb.
So I think it's the best John Wick movie, 100%.
What?
Yeah, by
your
far.
John Wick Keanu hate is unbelievable at this point.
He's so bad. He's so bad.
Those movies are fucking awesome.
Made me want to bring a Keanu movie too.
Let's do an episode where we only talk about John Wick.
I need to see the 4th one.
It's great,
but you need to see Ballerina, Trey, and tell me what you think. Because, dude, some of
the one I wait for streaming, but I definitely want to see it.
I see a friend of mine asked, he was like, should I go? Is it worth going to see in theaters? And like with the sound design of those movies, I think it's absolutely worth seeing in like a big ass theater. But I also get waiting for it. But I don't know. I thought it was great. And Ana de Armas is just like, she's a phenomenal actress. Honestly, she's really good in like everything that she does. I mean, she got me through Gray Man, which like that says a lot, you know.
And she's very clothed a lot through. Like she's not being sexy.
Yeah,
but she still is being sexy.
Yeah, just how she is, you know.
But yeah, with this movie, you guys, I wanted y'all to watch Chris Evans just get fucked up because I love Chris Evans, but I loved Chris Evans from Not Another Teen Movie. Okay, have either of y'all seen that movie? Okay, so this character in that movie, right? He just doesn't get murdered in that movie. But I also have this thing against Marvel, and I didn't even realize that when I picked this movie. These guys have directed how many Marvel movies?
I didn't know that it was a Russo movie till you just said something.
Yeah, it's they directed like 3 of the Avengers movies.
That makes sense why the action is so good. Because the action in this movie is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and this is adapted from a book too, so there's a book out there to read that probably is less convoluted than this, but it's a fictional story, obviously. But I think just the child in me watching Captain America get just his shit kicked in or stabbed with a butterfly knife, I don't know. This is why I picked that movie.
I feel it. All right, so the Wheel of Fate and time for next week. So, Anthony, you are the album pick, and let me share my screen.
Trey pick the categories.
I did. Did y'all like the tracker, or did anyone even open it?
I did.
No, I did.
It basically looks just like my notebook too.
Yeah, I figured.
Which is nice.
Okay, so the categories for Anthony is album released in 2025, pop punk album, R&B album, math rock album, and Spinner's Choice. Are we ready?
Please be pop punk. Please be pop punk.
Trey?
Also, really quick before we do this, I'm sorry about just giving you 4 albums earlier. That was just stupid and a very dumb lapse of judgment.
You are forgiven.
Yeah, I do genuinely apologize and realize how fucking dumb that was.
I'm going to pick the album, but Anthony's going to pretend to pick the album.
Why don't you say the albums that you almost made me have to choose from?
I don't even remember now. It was.
I'll tell you.
One was a Miley Cyrus album. One was a King Gizzard.
Carter 6.
Yeah, King Gizzard, Phantom Island,
and then I can't remember the 4th one.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
We'll fade in time, we'll fade in time, wheel of wafer, what are you doing? Come on, come on, come on.
Trey,
Let's
you're there.
go!
We're in it. Okay. So Trey, I should quote you, Trey. So the album or the section that was picked was the pop punk album. When Trey sent us the things, he said pop punk album a la Green Day. Okay, so I got the vibe you were looking for, but I'm not going to give you Green Day. We are going to go to that time period, 2001, Sum 41, All Killer, No Filler. That's what
Nice.
we're
Hell
going to
yeah.
do.
Hell
Fuck
yeah. Good
yeah.
choice.
That would have
Some
been
41.
the last category that I would have liked to have picked, but hey, we're in there.
I'm
So
curious
we're gonna get
what
our
did you have for math rock?
Toe album,
Okay,
the band
nice.
Toe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, dude, I had some good some
I bet you
R&B.
did.
I'm saving that one. So
Hmm.
please give me R&B again.
All right.
All right. So for
Film.
movies, I have David Fincher, Guy Ritchie, which is interesting, Michael Bay,
Guy
Wes
Ritchie's awesome.
Anderson, and Spinner's Choice. Are we ready?
I just saw this Guy Ritchie TV show that I liked a lot called The Gentleman. So that's
Yeah,
what
Guy
prompted
Ritchie's a
that.
fucking
All right,
banger of a
ready? I think
director.
you'd like
You're
that show a
lucky,
lot too.
Blake. You got
Ready?
some good shit.
Yeah, hit
The
it.
Wheel of Fate in Time,
Except for
wheelofnames.com.
no
Please
Michael
sponsor
Bay.
us. Oh, man, it's a Trey
Fincher.
Yeah.
episode without being a Trey episode, baby.
Well,
True.
Blake's in this too. Now
Yeah.
let's say though we have done Girl with the Dragon Tattoo,
Yes.
right? And we have done The Killer.
Yes.
Is there any other ones that we've done?
Have we done
Oh, we haven't done Zodiac.
The Social Network?
No.
No.
Okay.
Did not.
We are going to do The Social Network then.
Okay.
David Fincher directing, Aaron Sorkin writing, classic movie that I'm stoked to rewatch. And for those that don't know, David Fincher is my favorite director. So
Yeah.
good pick, Trey. Glad it landed on Mr. Fincher. I was gonna do Alien 3, but we've already done all the aliens and
Oh, yeah.
talked
I
about
thought
them.
about that when I
Mhm.
picked it, actually.
Yeah, I was like, we should do that, but like we'll circle back to Alien eventually. You know, another one will come out and we'll rehash all that. So
I will say
figured
David
we just
Fincher is
leave it.
also one of my favorite directors, and that's something that I directly stole from you. One of the rare situations where you influenced me, you know? Like,
Really rare, huh?
rare,
Okay,
quite.
interesting.
Well,
Okay, well, before we go, Trey, are we returning to a beloved previous segment?
Shit, yes, we are, but I think my fucking phone is on 1%. But so let me hold on. Just give me just a second. I'm gonna pull some things up on Instagram.
Okay.
I forgot about this.
While we wait, so Anthony, did
I'm
you?
sorry, go ahead.
No, go
Yes.
ahead.
I'm sorry, but like I was kind of using our thread to like save a couple, so like you're gonna.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
To be honest.
you're gonna have seen some of these, but like it is what it is. You're just gonna have to get over it.
Is it ready?
No, keep talking.
No.
Ask me, Blake.
So what
Club
do you
honorary?
think? Where do you think Ballerina stacks up with the
Oh.
rest of the John Wick movies?
I mean, it's not as good as the first one. First one you can't beat the origin story. At least his fucking revenge tour, pretty much. And there's it pulls from elements from I think John Wick 3 in Ballerina. I think that there are things that could have like that. I think the story and the intention of that story could have been bigger than what it was. I think it's unfortunate the circumstances that came around because in reality, like if you wanted to, the the ballerina kind of like concept is very spliced into this kind of movie. I mean, there's maybe a part here or there, but I wanted to see her like, I mean, fuck, I want to see her kill people. Like, I don't want to give away this movie. But I think it's middle of the road John Wick movie. I think you got
Interesting.
1, 2, 3 up top, and then Ballerina, and then 4. I can't remember a whole lot about.
Interesting. Okay. Amanda said she thought it was her favorite John Wick movie too. So Amanda and I are on track there. But maybe it's just because girl boss, female lead. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are elements in this John Wick movie that I think hadn't been used before. Again, you're tying in storylines too, which I think is really sick, and of course, a female lead who's just badass.
Yeah.
Um,
Not to
so-
spoil anything for Trey, but the grenade kills during that one scene. Oh my god, so fucking
There's
good.
wild kills. It's worth seeing, no
Yeah,
doubt, no doubt. It's not a
100%.
bad movie.
All right, Trey, you ready?
All right, all right, I'm ready. All right, so
All
the
right,
first one.
wait, hang on. Just so everybody is clear, it is the return of Trey's terrible Twitter takes, which has now been adopted to Trey's terrible Threads, Twitter, and Instagram takes. So that's what we got.
Anthony, I'm just going to start you out with one that you're absolutely going to hate, but whatever. Here we go. Okay. All right. This is from Brad the Mailman _777. His profession makes sense once you hear this take. Got my dog microchipped, so if he runs away, I can just press a button and he'll explode.
Oh, man. All right. Now, hold on. I want to mention this because it is worth mentioning. You know, I love the guys from Workaholics, and they made a funny ass movie, but they made one mistake in their movie. The movie's called Game Over, Man. If y'all hadn't seen
it's excellent.
It's great. It's excellent. Yeah. But I only watched it once, and then when I rewatched it, I remembered why. It's because the tweet you just mentioned gets played out in the movie Game Over, Man. So I'll keep it cryptic like that, but go watch the movie. It's worth it. Hear it from me.
All right, this one is from Beer Maxing 21. Also, once again, topical. I wish DUIs expired every week, so each Friday I'm not in danger of going to prison for the rest of my life, and I can also just keep having fun.
Fair. Very fair.
All right, this one is from Brett Mercer. I'm not sure how this is going to transfer comically from audio rather than reading, but this is the whole last tweet. It says, directed by Martin Scorsese, scored by Martin Direxes.
That one is so good. Martin Direxes.
I know, it's solid. And then I have one more. Give me just a second. Oh, this one I sent to my dad, and he got way too excited and sent in all caps back, I love that, with 5 exclamation points. If I'm such a bad dad, why can my 5-year-old explain the difference between a parlay and a straight bet? That's from the hard time.
That's new. That's new America, baby.
Yeah,
that's the future.
You should know. They should know.
True. Very true.
All right, that is Trey's terrible Twitter takes on this lovely Tuesday. So we're going to come back stronger next time, too.
Hell yeah. And maybe bookmark them so that I don't get them spoiled beforehand.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, I don't know how to do that. You know, I'm pretty dumb with a computer. I'll just ask ChatGPT how to do it. And
I was about to say, just have it tell you how to do everything. Yeah. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed. Everybody else, or you guys, I'll see you when I see you. Twas fun. I'll stop and then stay in the studio. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.